Potteries, hello and welcome to a little extra video I thought I'd put on for you this week, seeing as yesterday saw the first round in the BCGBA County Team Championship knockout something or other. Not the Crossfield Cup anyway, it's not the Crossfield Cup. Thanks for joining me today. If you enjoy these videos, please hit the like button, and if you're not already a Bulls buddy and a member of this wonderful community of ours, please hit the subscribe button, and don't forget, click that notification bell for notifications of new content on the channel, which is going to be at least twice a week, possibly 3 times, who knows, or dares to dream. It was fantastic yesterday to get the county shirt back on and to get playing in county games. Whilst British Crown Green may not consider yesterday's matches proper county games, I for one do, and I think everyone that played in the 7 games up and down the country will also think exactly the same. The competitive nature was there, the stress was there, the pressure was there, and I love county games. I think the days are brilliant. I'll be honest with you, I actually prefer to play away from home just because it's a bit more of an adventure, going travelling, see different parts of the world, but playing at home is just as good. A little bit extra pressure on you, I think, if you're playing at home. You expect to know the green better and be able to beat good players playing good bowls, which isn't always easy. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do this after every round of the county knockout championship or whatever they're calling it, I'll just do a little catch up on a Monday, just go through the results, maybe talk about 1 or 2 of the games, just have a look and see some of the matches that have been played, maybe just keep you abreast of what's happening. I know not everybody knows where to find the results on the day, and I'll put a link up to that at the end of the video. So without further ado, I'll crack on. I'll get the old iPad out, fire it up, and we'll just go through them in order. I'll put the team sheets up on the screen whilst I'm going through them, and I'm not going to spend too long on each game, but we'll just have a look. So straight in, Greater Manchester versus Staffordshire at the Greater Manchester home venue at Crompton. They had a 78 chalk win. They only dropped, let's have a look, 4 chalks in the entire game, and perhaps surprisingly, you don't see it very often, 2 of those were from Mr. Gareth Ellis. He doesn't lose many games home or away in the county, but he was on the end of a 21-19 defeat by Gareth Herbert, playing for Staffordshire. The other 2 losers, Nigel Greenhalgh and Stephen Leach, lost 21-20 to Chris Ward and Danny Statham. So that sounded like it was a fantastic game there. A couple of single figure wins from the home lads, John Ashton, Matt Gillies, Andy Lowe and Tom Eccles, all weighing in with massive wins to ensure a 78 chalk win at home. At Woodfield Sports down in Wolverhampton, the home side managed to scrape a 3-point win, a 3 chalk win, and that's mainly down to a 21-9 winner last on, Scott Simpson versus Andy Raymond. All the other games were pretty tight, with the lowest score being 14 in the previous 11 games. So it was looking like a Manchester win home and away until that last result came in. So Greater Manchester went through with a 75 chalk win. On to the next venue, Derbyshire versus Cheshire. Oh, by the way, I did predict the Greater Manchester win. So that's 1 out of 1 so far. So here we go, Derbyshire versus Cheshire. The Derbyshire venue was at Stretton Bowls Club number 2 green in Burton-on-Trent, and they had a 71 chalk win. Again, those 6 chalks were dropped in 1 game, with the legend that is Noel Burrows winning 21-15 against Richard Stretton. I don't think he owns the club. Can't do. And then at Castle Sports, a good result really for Cheshire. 42 chalk home win is pretty good, including a 21-2 win. Tom Vickers over Nigel Iliffe. Peter Illidge weighed in with a 21-7 win over Dugan Tooby, coming back into the county fold But all the other games were pretty level. There weren't a lot of big wins either way. Maybe the best win for Derbyshire was Ben Ryder beating Carl Armitage 21-11. But really the damage was done at Stretton. They had two 21-8 wins. Connor Chamberlain 21-8 over Jason Cones, and Adam Hartley 21-8 over David O'Brien. And as I say, they had 11 winners. No, they had 2 losers. It wasn't 6 chalks dropped. It was they dropped 9 chalks. Sorry, me being rubbish. Neil Smith also won for Cheshire 21-17 over Dan Hartley. So that was a 29 chalk win by Derbyshire. So that's 2 out of 2 for the Boy Cairns. Pretty good going so far. Next game was Warwick and Worcester versus Lancashire, and at the Warwick and Worcester venue, only a 19 chalk win for the Warwick and Worcester boys, despite some good a good first game off. Ben Harris 21, Kevin Shaw 8. In fact, they had the first 3 winners off. Neil Bithell weighed in with a 21-11 win against Josh Hale. And really it was pretty tight, and I think Lancashire would have been happy with only losing by 19 on the George. No real big losses. Like I said, the 21-8 was the biggest win, and Neil's 21-11 was the biggest win for Lancashire. But the damage was done at Bellingham, where Warwick and Worcester had a 29 chalk win. Their lowest loser was 16, which is pretty good away from home, and they only had 4 losers. So that's really where the damage was done. So overall, Warwick and Worcester had a 48 chalk win over Lancashire, and that is 3 out of 3 for the Boy Cairns. Yorkshire versus Merseyside. Yorkshire playing at Whitkirk Bowling Club in Leeds, which is a fantastic green. Awful lot in it. Big green, uphill and downhill. Lots of all sorts in it, really. Sort of thinking man's green, I would say. And it was a 66 chalk win for Yorkshire. They'd only had 2 losers. Funnily enough, the first game on and the last game on, and they both lost 19. Matt Gilmore beat James Hanson, and Dave McDermott beat Ashley Tattersley. And really, the other games, there wasn't a lot in them. 11, 12, 13, but in the middle there, Alex Wolfen, I think it was his county debut as well, with a 21-3 win over Mick Andrews. So that's a fantastic result personally for Alex and also for the county. Over at Mossley Hill in Liverpool, Merseyside had a 21 chalk win. Unfortunately for them, they had a 21-5 loser in the first 4, Danny Barwise succumbing to Wayne Mosley. And despite a couple of 21-8 victories later on, Tex Allen over Kevin Burns and Craig Taylor over Ashley Dakin, that 21-5 loss really sort of set the tone for the game. Looking at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, say 6 winners apiece, so there wasn't an awful lot in it. But overall, Yorkshire managed to win by 45. So how many games is that? 4 games, and it's 4 out of 5 for 4 out of 5. What's 4 out of 5? 4 out of 4 for the Boy Cairns. My tipping's getting a little bit better. On to the Potteries versus North Midlands, and at the Potteries venue, Dilhorn Bowling Club, they actually lost to North Midlands by 25 chalks. There was a big win for Stuart Perry last game on for North Midlands, 21-6 over Paul Phillips, and they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They had the first 5 winners off away from home, 6, 7, and they had 8 winners to 4 against the Potteries with a 25 chalk win. And at Dunlop number 2, quite a respectable result really for Potteries, only losing by 30. And those chalks really came in 2 games. Stuart Nash beating Josh Towie 21-7, and Shane Day last on beating Matthew Hill 21-3. Otherwise, it was a very close game. Took those 2 results out. North Midlands 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 winners at home. So 16 winners out of 24 overall, and a comfortable 55 chalk win. And that makes it 5 out of 5 for the Boy Cairns, who seems like I know what I'm talking about a little bit. Unfortunately then, the wheels fell off for me and for my second county, if you will, South Yorkshire. South Yorkshire versus Cumbria, playing at Cruxmore Rec, and Cumbria playing at Lindell Bowling Club, and two more dissimilar greens you couldn't imagine. Cruxmore is a big, heavy parks green, regular the site of five-a-side games and people wanting to practice the golf swing. And Lindell Bowling Club, small, compact, generally quick, but very, very difficult anyway, all different paces. So it was a battle of two dissimilar greens. South Yorkshire, they would have been over the moon with a 61 chalk win at home. They had they started off with a 21-5 win, Richard.jackson over Matty Stewart. They had a few losers, 1, 2, 3, 4 losers at home, but they also had a 21-7 win, Sam Day over Steve Carruthers, and Johnny Snedden winning 21-7 over Dan Varco. Cumbria will have been, well, buoyed I suppose, because, you know, Richard.jackson doesn't lose many even at his ripe old age of 96. He lost to Ira Collier 13. James Duffin beat Rob Thompson Jr. to 14. Zach Walker had a good win, 21-13 over Peter Warthorpe. The drama was over at Lindell, so they made the long journey north, and unfortunately the South Yorkshire boys didn't have a single winner. 12 played and 12 lost, which is pretty unusual in county bowls. There's usually 1 or 2 who take to the green and find it pretty well. But in the sort of middle of the game, Martin Barrow beat Andrew Jones 21-9, Martin Wilson beat Stuart Thompson 21-2, and Kieran Clark beat Paul Wildgoose 21-2. And Kieran Clark's a young lad, I'm not even sure if he's 20 yet. I remember him playing against Jimmy Darby. I think he was 14 years old, and give Jimmy Darby a good battering. So it looks like Lindell has done the business again. I'm told it wasn't that quick, but it was just really difficult to play with the different paces, and I'm sure most of these greens have had some bad weather over the week, which has might have caused a few problems for some of the home players, but generally, you know, the home teams have done pretty well. But at Cumbria, Lindell Bowling Club, they won by 95 chalks, so they took the aggregate by 34. Cumbria beating South Yorkshire would have let me down on my 7-fold accumulator, which shouldn't really be any sort of surprise, because I never win accumulators. And then the game I was involved in, North Lancs versus Shropshire, and I can talk a little bit about this because I know a bit about it, and it was a bit of an experiment by North Lancs. We've been wanting to use East Lancashire players and venues a little bit more, just because we think that it's an untapped resource that we haven't really made use of over the years. Everything seemed to centre around Preston and Blackpool and maybe further north, but it was a little bit of an experiment. And the green that we picked at Rushden Street is a lovely, beautiful little green, really nice, really friendly place, and when it's quick it is so difficult to play. Virtually half the green was unplayable when I went to practice on Thursday. Looked at the weather forecast and thought there's no point practicing anymore because it's just going to rain for 2 days, and so it did. And the North Lancs team, we practiced in torrential rain with puddles on, and over the next 45 minutes it fined up, of course. The puddles disappeared and we might as well not bothered, but we gave it our best go. We had 9 winners. Best for us was a 21-13 win by Peter Hawkes, and that's probably what just let us down. We didn't have enough big winners, we didn't have any in single figures. Yours truly managed a 21-7 win against Clay Flatley. Very close game, not many twos in it, very difficult. Green was changing all the time in the first 4. Unfortunately for us, we had a 21-6 loss. Paul Evans beating Dean Brown 21-6, and overall slightly disappointing 22 chalk win, but at least it was a win. We were hoping for a minimum of 30, I think honestly, if it had stayed fine, I think we'd have won by more. It's a very good home green when it's just got a little bit of extra pacing. It doesn't have to be flying, just a little bit of pace where you can catch people out. Over at number 2, before I go, I just want to give a little shout out to Colin Beeman, who was awarded his 100th cap and received a silver salver. I thought it was his 200th cap. He's been playing that long, but no, it was his 100th. I'm glad that Shropshire decided that this was his 100th cap, because as I say, BCGBA are basically saying it doesn't count. But a lot of counties count not only the county games but supplementary games, and some even count junior games towards their overall number of caps that players have won. And I know players have received awards for 100 caps when they've only played maybe 60 games for the senior county. But it was nice to see Colin. He's been a nice lad, good bowler. He's been a good bowler for a long time. He was telling me, I think it was 1995 when he made his debut, which is actually behind me, so I'm not sure how he's got all them. Oh, that's right, he plays for Shropshire, a bit better county, so played a few more games. But yeah, it was nice to see. Over at Newport number 2, again from an away as an ex-away team player. Tough greens in Shropshire, and you're looking at maybe, if you can hold them to a 30-point loss, you've probably done your job. And I'll be honest with you, after the first 5 games, it was, looking pretty good for North Lancs. Unfortunately, Darren Edmondson had to pull out. I think he's having some knee surgery, and his replacement Mel Byron didn't take to the green at all and only got 4. It was around this time the weather started changing apparently, and it started raining a bit, and the green just got really difficult to play. But we had a couple of good winners: Stuart Moore 21-18, John Bottomley 21-17, but in the last, Tommy Ashcroft, last man on, 21-15. But it was all a little bit too late by then, because in the back 4 we had 3 out of 4 losers, a 15 loss, a 6 loss and a 13 loss. So overall, what's that, 6, 21, 29. So we've dropped 30 chalks in the last, in those games there. Pulled by 24 chalks in the last 4. So we were only 13 chalks behind before the last 4, which was looking pretty good. So we lost away by 37, we won at home by 22, and overall we lost by 15. So sad really. I think we deserve, well, it was probably the right result. The Shropshire lads came and played our green very well. I don't think it would have been the same result without the rain, but yes, I won't say what I was going to say because it was quite rude, but they adapted well, and I'm sure some of our lads adapted very well over at Shropshire. The game I think everyone wanted to watch down there, Callum Rate versus Simon Cowt, finished with Callum winning 21-13. We gave it our best shot, and hopefully it's something we can build on for next year when we get back to normal and start playing proper county games again. So for me, that's 6 out of 7 results, and I'm just going to try and bring up the draw. And another county win, which is always good. I think that's something like 58 wins out of 92 or something. Not brilliant, but well, there's been worse. I've seen worse county records. I've played the majority of games at home, away even, so never easy. I think that was only maybe my 5th home game out of those, which is, I'm just trying to bring up the draw for the next round. So let's have a look. So next round, played on Sunday the 1st of August at 2 PM. And guys, if you've got some free time and you can get yourself to one of these games, I highly recommend you do. They're fantastic days out. Obviously venues and teams will be known nearer the time, but at the minute this is the draw for the second round. Yorkshire play Wales. Wales had a bye, of course. North Midlands play Cumbria. They're the 2 furthest counties apart, so why not play each other? Because obviously we're trying to minimise travel because of COVID, aren't we? Greater Manchester versus Shropshire, and Warwick and Worcester versus Derbyshire. All being well, I'll be going to watch the Greater Manchester Shropshire game. No doubt it'll be somewhere fairly near me, and I do like these county games, as I keep saying. And obviously nearer the time, I'll inform you of venues, I'll inform you of teams and give you some predictions, and I hope that you manage to get out and watch some of the games. So I'm going to leave it there. Hope you join me on Wednesday. Wednesday's going to be a little bit tricky. There's some good news, bad news and all sorts of news really, but we'll deal with that on Wednesday. Guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, and please consider becoming a Bowls Buddy. I'd love to get to 2,000 subscribers before the end of the season. We're currently on about 1,750, something like that. So tell your friends. If you've got an extra email, just make another YouTube account and subscribe on that. It's all good. I'd like to get to 2,000, and I've got a nice giveaway lined up in the pipeline for that. So guys, see you Wednesday. Stay safe. Bye for now.